Yo, it's Crackle Dackle Pterodactyl. Welcome back and welcome front, my friends. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this dude. This is Excavator Warrior, and that is Scavenger from Dreamstar Toys. And I'm going to straight cut to the chase and talk about the elephant in the room, which is this broken boom. Well, maybe it's not a boom, but the neck for this shovel bit. And so right now it is just kind of held in place via friction by these two tabs over here. But the reality of it is this thing kind of broke, and not just kind of broke, it like catastrophically broke. On top of this, I already lost the piece already. There's supposed to be a little bit of a ring, and it's meant to actually house this entire piece in there. It's meant to be like that, and you can kind of pull it out and twist. But dude, for how much weight this thing commands, they should have cast this in metal. And some people, including myself, this was just broken out of the box. For some people, they didn't include the hinge for the waist, so the waist completely came detached. And while other people have not had any issues at all, and so I still contend that this was really rushed to market, and that's really unfortunate. And there's a couple of other areas. You know what? Let me just remove the arm so I can show you some of these other bits. I think this should have spent way more time in QC in the quality pass stage, because look, you see that gap right there? That's a huge, huge, huge noticeable gap. Look, and the thing is, I'm not doing anything wrong. Everything you can see is aligned properly over here. And you can see that it's aligned right there, it's aligned right there, and everything. Otherwise, this would not plug in. But what's going on here? What is going on over here? Why is there such a huge piece? You can like fudge it. You can try to like push it in to get this to all work, but well, it's not working for me right now. And also this ends up being like kind of being at an angle, which is really unfortunate, man, because this is a beautiful, beautiful piece. I mean, I kind of felt that their mix master was being rushed. I mean, dude, look at this. Like, that's so cool. It feels good in hand, man, and the details on here are really quite exquisite. It looks very, very nice, and so that's why it is even more disappointing that this kind of came to pass. And like I was mentioning, the Mixmaster I felt was rushed because in terms of like how the legs transformed, I felt it was a bit convoluted. And this guy, I also think was rushed. And I've been trying to defend these guys because I had such a good experience with their Scrapper and their other characters. And a lot of people were like, dude, their Superion sucks. And from what I've seen in the reviews, he's not great. He's not great. And it's not that I have any type of stake in these guys, but I was like, hey, let's give these guys a fair shake because the Constructicons are turning out to be pretty good. And still, I contend that in the bot modes, they're great. And for the most part, in alt modes, they're great as well. Let me quickly show you how this turns into Megatron's leg while I just kind of yammer. If you haven't caught the video base, by the way, in terms of the Build-A-Figure Megatron, check that out in the channel. I'll put the link somewhere up here. But yeah, because I had such a good experience with their Scrapper figure, with their Hook figure, which has its own issues recently, I was kind of like, hey, let's give these guys a fair shake, you know? Let's give them a fair shake, and yeah. And I'm still kind of in their corner, but still, man, this thing is just really, really disappointing. It will still hold in place, and thankfully TF Safari is sending me a replacement piece, but still. And I heard that some other places, I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but I heard that some other folks are not getting replacement parts, and so just be mindful of where you're purchasing, you know, who you give your dollars to and stuff. Sorry, I think I got this wrong. But fortunately, this will still hold in place because this piece will kind of stand up. But yeah, TF Safari is taking good care of me, and so I'm not too concerned about that. I'm just going to have to be extra double careful. And some people said use Tamiya cement, maybe, but at this point, I don't even know where that piece went. It's just this tiny little ring that's supposed to sit atop. And make sure that I'm getting this right, because what's going to happen is that piece is going to be, oh, yeah. It's going to be held in place down over here. And then this neck will be sandwiched in like that. So see, you can see that it's meant to, like, it's designed beautifully, aesthetically at least. Structurally, problematic. And at least in the what is it, the alt mode and the bot mode, because it has these other supports, you're going to be okay. But still, man, they really, really should have thought about the long-term kind of like design and then the usage of all of this, because now I'm being extra careful when I'm holding this piece. That's a good looking bot mode, excuse me, alt mode though. That's a good looking piece. Oh, I gotta put this stuff back. Look at that. I love the rivets. I love the pipes. I love the translucent red. I love all of this tread work over here. The accents in yellow, the dark and lighter bits of gray and silver. I think it looks phenomenal. And I showed you this bit over here. It sounds good too. You know what I mean? It sounds good, like all the clock, 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 clock. And that's why it's even more disappointing. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so many things going for it, but like, ugh, that is very disappointing. But I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. And once again, just aesthetically gorgeous. I love this kind of militaristic pine green that we have on him, and the shades, the various shades of black, gray, and silver. It looks all very, 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 very nice. And like I said, even with this kind of broken off, it's still structurally very sound in its alt mode, less so in the ARM mode, but in robot mode, it all kind of collapses and compacts together, and so you're not going to have any issues there. But a couple of last pieces that I'm just kind of vent about. You see all these bits down over here? They're actually meant to kind of sit inside the treads. They don't do a great convincing job. They just kind of hang there. And I feel like it's not, like, I don't think this is supposed to be floating like this. But what are you going to do? So in the next part, I'm just going to transform into the robot. And you are going to see some similarities in terms of the arms becoming the treads that's carried over from Bone Crusher. And then this bit over here also, in terms of, like, it's not that it's identical to Bone Crusher, but in terms of philosophy and concept, all of this folding out and folding in to become the legs, that's all going to be there. This part is unique, very unique to Scavenger. And I think it's pretty cool. Sorry, I just swallowed a burp. I think it's pretty cool how it folds into the back of the neck. I'm debating whether I'm going to take him from bot mode into what is it, the excavator mode. Maybe that might be more helpful for people, because he does come packaged in bot mode. So why don't I do that? I'll put him into bot mode, turn him into excavator mode, and that'll be the end of the video, end of the rant, and yeah, blah, blah. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Fredo, look at our guy. Dude, he's such a good looking bot. I love the fact that he has that little Scavenger chest plate. And dude, look at the text. Where it can be legible, where you can read it, it's done very, very crisply. I don't know if that's a word, but yeah, it's very nice and crisp. Same with all the details and the decos throughout. Like, there are no questions whatsoever, absolutely, about any of the aesthetics. But of course, that big elephant in the room that we saw earlier, shout out to Patrice O'Neill, elephant in the room, rest in peace. This thing, I mean, fortunately, it can sit there, it can tab in there, and the head can hold it down. And yeah, it passes the shake test to some degree, but I wish it wasn't like that, you know what I mean? But like I said, good thing TF Safari has tremendous customer service, and so they're going to hook your boy up. He's a good-looking bot, dude. He really, really, really is. Oh, you gotta love that. One more time. Oh, gotta love that, right? You can hear the smaller ratchets in there. It's just real, what's the word I'm looking for? When something's pleasing to the audio ear senses, yeah. People with vocabulary skills, hook me up, help me out, dude. It's very pleasing to the ear, so to speak. Look at that. Look how everything cleans up, you know what I mean? This used to be the back and kind of like the front of the Scavenger excavator vehicle, and so it sits very nicely over there. Dude, in my head right now, I'm still trying to think of the word, something that's pleasing to the ear. Yeah. Anyway, you can see more of the treads over here, that silver bit. These little side bits, really cool. They look kind of like blasters, and these are embedded on the inside as part of the what is it, the tread mechanism. Overall, the proportion of the legs, he looks mad gallant, dude. You know what I mean? And he has good, what is it, articulation. He has a spin. He even has a minor crunch to some degree. I think part of that is part of due to the transformation. I'm just going to remove this for now because it's bothering me. And you can see some of that mechanism, excuse me, built in over there. One of the things that I do find weird about our guy is, and he has doubles where it matters. He tries to do a good enough job. And so, yeah, articulation-wise, he's not bad. The hands are weird, bro. Like, yo, all of them got these crazy thumbs. Like, what? I mean, I got a crazy thumb too, but not like homie over here. And the fingers are super duper spindly. And this has been a chief gripe of mine. You see that there's a little tab there, right? And you can see that there's a slot mechanism. This one is not bad in terms of how he can wield it. It's probably the most convincing one. Not bad. But as far as like the blaster goes, again, I don't know why somebody didn't QC this properly. You can see that there. I just don't like to sit. And yeah, it's sitting there right now, but dude, it's so shallow and loose. I don't like it. I mean, his, what do you call this? Tensile? His grip strength basically is good enough that you could have him like hold it and he can grip it in his hand. Kind of. He can. I'm not doing a great job. He can hold it in his hand, but like especially if you try to tap it in here. But he just doesn't do it meaningfully. Like, I'm going to do my best to sandwich and wrap his fingers around there. And so that's like to the extent, and it's doing an okay job right now, especially on camera. And so I can appreciate them for that. But yeah, man, they should have done a better job. And we can wrap this. And try to get it up on his mouth. Oh well. What I do think is cool is that he has this ginormous spear, which I do think is very, very cool. It does have a couple of areas in which you can grip, but the whole tab slot thing that I mentioned is just so unconvincing and just not good enough for me to try to really, really do anything. But his grip strength, his, what's the word, chat? Tensile? There's a word I'm looking for. His grip strength is good enough that I can wrap this around his hand. And that's fine. And these, by the way, be careful. They are incredibly sharp, super duper sharp. And so he's like, oh. But yeah, no, he's good. He's good, but he could be much, much better. Cheddar, Heather, he could be better. He really, really could be. That's why I feel like he was rushed to market. And I don't know why they did that. I mean, I get it, wanting to finish up this thing, but it's not even done. Like, you know what, I'm going to mess with that later. We still have Prowl, you know what I mean? And honestly, I'm a little bit worried about Prowl because Mixmaster, I started seeing their quality dip a little bit. And this will, especially with some of the stuff that I pointed out already. Yeah, dude, he kind of fell short. And Prowl is supposed to be the last member. Bruh, I'm honestly worried. I really, really am. But what are we going to do, right? We got to see this through to the 8th member, 7th member being Megatron, of course. And you guys saw all of that. And so now having kind of showed you the bot mode, which I think is pretty good, except for this thing, let's take him into excavator mode. Okay. Alrighty, let's get him transformed. As you can see, I've taken the liberty of sorry. I've taken the liberty of transforming one of the so stupid. I've taken the liberty of transforming one of the arms, so it's a little bit easier on my noggin. But it's not difficult. It's just, I don't know, my brain likes to fart a lot. And so you're going to pop this open and you're going to get the fist to go in there. But I don't know why it's giving me a hard time right now. I knew it. It normally doesn't have any issues. But, dude, the fist is just exploding on me right now. Why? Okay. But anyway, you get to go in there. Dude, it's all mangled inside, right? And you close this up. It's actually a really cool mechanism. And then you open this up. I love this part. I think it's just so smart. And you flip that. I've really enjoyed the arm transformation for both Scavenger and Bone Crusher as I spit into my phone. And then we're going to open this up. And then we're going to open all of this up as well. Then I believe this goes like that. and that goes in there. And then this is going to go up. And I think I forgot to spin that part around. And then you can spin. Yeah, you just got to make sure that it's oriented properly. Otherwise, this won't have a proper place to sit down. And there we go. And the screws are on the outside. And the screws are not on the outside here. Wait a minute, what? But it looks identical. And so, oh, they must have used same parts and not mirrored joints. That's fine. And so that is the top portion. Okay, next, what we're going to do is we're going to open this bit up. This is very similar to B Crush. And then we're going to get this to do that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter right now, though. Let's just kind of move this out of the way. Then we can lift the head up. And we can rock this out. So here's an interesting thing. This thing has to come down and spin. But you can see there's not a lot of clearance at the moment. So what you want to do is you're going to want to move this thing backward. And normally this thing would all be in here right now, and then you would be unfolding it and doing a bunch of origami and like all this stuff. But we can't do that right now, obviously, right? And so we'll just have to kind of come back to this later. I think it does go like this, though. We'll see. We'll see. And so we can kind of move this bit out of the way. These side flaps will come up, and this neck piece is meant to be sandwiched like so. If I can get it to cooperate with me. Well, at least you can see the cross section over here. So you can see how everything's supposed to sit there, right? There we go. And so we can keep it like that for the time being. This bit may turn around when this is fully extended. But yeah, doing a horrible job, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. I know. I know. And then we are going to spin this guy over. And later we're going to do some work over here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to undo this. Worst toy reviewer ever. I know. I know. And then we'll get this guy all open here as well. And this is going to sit down over here in just a second, Gretchen. But for the time being, yeah, that's kind of like how the top portion will open up. I'm just going to move on to the legs right now. Maybe I could have put this in later on, because you can see right now it's still bearing a bunch of this weight over here. But whatever. So going down to the legs, dude, I haven't done a review for a while. Like I have vacation, I have an injury that I'm nursing right now, and just haven't had a lot of time due to work. So I'm kind of rusty. So I apologize about that. So this part over here, we're going to untab and we're going to open up. And this is very, very clever. And you can see this thing kind of expanding. You can bring that up. And down over here, this is going to flip out. And this is also on a rotating bit. So you're going to rotate this out, and then you're going to have it close down on that. And that's pretty clever. And then you're going to open this. You're going to spin this around. And I really like what they do with the toe. And you just have that sit in there. And that's pretty much it. And you can see that this is the entire side bit of, this is the side, and this is the back, and this is going to be the front. That problematic area that didn't quite tab in earlier that I was showing you, that's going to be that. But yeah, it looks a lot scarier than it actually is. And one more time, we can do that here. We can just kind of open this bit up, unfold, untab, bring that up. This one's a little bit different because it's asymmetric, right? And I think that's right. That's right. You kind of fold this bit out. Maybe I got a little ahead of myself. But this over here is very clever in terms of how they transform it. If I just remember how. I'm going to bring that window up, move it out of the way. Same thing with the toe. Spin it around. Dude, this is definitely, I definitely feel rusty with respect to how I'm like transforming this. And you gotta bring that bit out because this is going to tab into the legs in a second. Okay. So all this stuff is happening like this, and I want to say that give me a second, all right? I totally forgot how to do this. Ah, yes, I figured it out. I had to get this part in a 90-degree angle, have this facing forward, and then you got to bring this down, and you got to turn this another 90 degrees, and have that little post plug in. Worst toy review ever in my best MGO impersonation. But yeah. I'm doing my best, Paul. I'm doing my best. And we just have the head sitting here. And you see these little two hook pieces on the side of the chest. They are actually meant to tab in. There we go. They're meant to tab in there in the head. I think it just sits in there like that. Okay. Okay. As bad as this review is going, I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun too, just watching my mishaps. So we're gonna bring this up, and as we bring that up, you see that little hole right there? That's supposed to align with that. So you just gotta make sure that you fold the appropriate knee part to get there. And oops. You can see how this all like lines up though, right? It's going to be all like that, but I just gotta, there we go. There we go. Okay. And this is all meant to tab in, like I showed you earlier. Where's my spudger? There's supposed to be little grooves for all of these things. And I'm going to get this one up there too. Ah, yes, like I mentioned. This thing has to tab in like so. We'll get that to go up. And we'll flip this. Yay, it's all tabbed in. It's all tabbed in. Keep these open. And this one has to go down first because you can see that there's a little tab thing there. Did I not? Those little grooves, those are going to fit inside the shin. So I do like the fact that there are little areas that are guiding you, allowing you to tab these things in properly. And so I can appreciate that. I really, really can. But it's just some of the other areas that drive me nuts. I think this part I have to open up. Yeah. It's a cool design. It really, really is. It just needed better QC. I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why I can't get this. This part is supposed to be aligned on top of that. There we go. There we go. So cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool tools, right? And then so from here, we get this all lined up. And you can see that there are little ports. Well, there's a single port down over here that's supposed to align with this. There's not a lot of spacing. Oh, okay. I got that right. And in a perfect world, this thing would just... That's my sound effect when something's supposed to just close up perfectly. Like it's like the air escaping. When you know what? When you have Jello, you know when you have Jello in Tupperware and you like shake it and it's like you're like never make that sound again. Anyway, that's the bro. I can't. It ain't gonna work, bro, and I'm not gonna force it. Anyway, there's a gap there. Just notice that. Okay, this is pretty much it. And there's one last aspect, and that is the blaster. And you see that little tip, right? The handle over there? I'm not even joking, dude. Yo, that's supposed to just go right there. And like, it barely goes in there, man. It just, one single point of connection and it's supposed to sit there. I don't like that at all. If you just saw it in the picture, you'd be like, whoa, weapon storage. But dude, it's so flimsy. It's so weak. And while he has a ton of things going for him, beautiful aesthetic, deco, paint, overall engineering and design, it's marred by the fact that it was rushed to market. Proper QC was not done. This engineering mishap over here on the neck of this thing, it just really, really detracts. And all of this too really detracts from the fact that this could have at least, I don't know if it would have been a 10, but if this had nailed all of its points and got everything right, I would have probably given this like an 8.5 or a 9. But because of all of these little things that have happened, I'm going to take this down to like a 6 or a 5. Otherwise, it's pretty high up there, man, because it's a really, really good looking bot. It's a solid feeling toy. All the parts, manufacturing, everything feel good about it. If just not for those points that I outlined. You know what I mean? Anyway, in the next video, we're going to combine them into Devastator. I'm going to keep them into their alt modes. And what I really want to showcase is this additional bag of parts. Yo, he just came with a random bag of parts to fortify that combination. And so that's what we're going to focus on. But for today's video, yeah, that's me and Scavenger signing out. Thanks for watching, especially if you watch to the end. You are a legend, my friend. I will talk to you soon, okay?